called Big Cat.
Deion.
Hey, Deion.
You ready for football?
I am.
It's another season, baby.
Pro Football Show.
All right, Deion. Showtime. Football is back.
Welcome back to the Pro Football Show presented by the Chevy Silverado. Week in and week out, the Silverado brings it with unstoppable grit and determination. It is week 13 of the NFL, and this cast on this desk is a little bit different today. You guys are already high-fiving, of course. Myself and Deion, per usual. We've got Nick Mangold. Welcome back.
Thank you.
And Brandon Walker sitting in for Dan from
Wow.
Big Cat. How you feeling?
Great job. Last time you was here, Nick. Great job. I just wanted to say that.
I appreciate that, Deion. I think you still beat me.
Well,
Yeah, I
he
did.
beats everybody.
I just wanted to let you know.
Okay.
First of all, Kayce, introduce me as college football expert, Brandon Walker, please.
King of the South. Yes, Deion, he is the king of the South. I forgot. He usually
No,
wears the crown.
I haven't heard him say anything about us, so he's not the king.
No.
So
I haven't talked to you yet, Deion. My first thing was to talk to you. I am Brandon Walker. We haven't met yet.
I know you.
I am from West Point, Mississippi. That's my hometown, and I just wanted to thank
Oh.
you for everything you've done for the city of Jackson and for the state of Mississippi the
you.
last couple of years.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you.
And I hate that you're going to Colorado next week.
I don't know who told you that.
Yeah, so Deion,
I don't know who told you that.
Okay.
the internet has been telling us that at night. So I do a college football podcast and the college football show with Brandon. He is a big time college football expert. He does give Jackson State a lot of love. I will give him that.
Hey, thank you.
He does. We talk about
Thank you.
and very glowingly a lot. But I know that you're not going to tell us. But the college football streets right now are running rampant saying you're going to
Oh,
Colorado.
the streets are hot. The
streets are hot.
The streets. Every day I wake up and they tell me I'm going somewhere different. What? They never tell me I'm staying. I wish they tell me I'm staying because they always got me going here. I've seen myself in every coaching uniform but Jackson State's recently. You know?
Man, I watched that interview you had with Rob J. I don't know if it was yesterday
Oh
or the day
my
before.
God, was that hilarious?
First of all, that's my
yesterday?
guy. And secondly,
Rob J's your guy?
well, I mean, he's just a very talented guy out of Mississippi.
Yeah.
And
he is.
There's only so few of them.
And second, shut up, man.
It's true. It's true.
And secondly, you never told him you weren't going to Colorado.
Well, you had to keep them hanging on.
Okay.
Although I don't care where I'm going, I'm looking for guys like Nick. I really need Nick to go in that family tree, to go in his friends, family, and loved ones, whatever, who's DMU. I need kids like that play just like that.
I always forget that when the two of you are there, you guys have like the bond of being, NFL
That's
guys
my guy.
together. Yeah, you guys, it's a very cute bromance that's brewing here. It's like it's not brewing, it's in full bloom.
In full bloom.
Neat.
And Deion, I have to ask a question because I think it's on everyone's mind. Did you ever sit out of a game because of a cold?
No, never.
Because we got Brandon Walker here. Dan's got a cold.
Well, first of all, along that, I will not say anything about Big Cat that is bad. Secondly, I'm here to represent all my own thoughts, and when we get to games like the Bears, I'm definitely saying my own thoughts, and I have not been coached on what to say about Josh Allen or about the Bears or anybody else. My thoughts.
Your thoughts?
My thoughts.
Lamar. Don't forget Lamar. But a cold, they don't even have those anymore, right? It's either COVID or they don't have colds anymore. That cold is. I thought they quit having colds.
I thought so too.
They
Here
fell
we
off.
are.
They fell off the planet. It is very interesting, Deion, that last season when you were going through your battles, that Dave and Dan were saying that you gave up a little bit and weren't showing up to work because you were dealing with that, and Dan lost his voice. Now I'm not going to speak because if I lost my voice, it'd be pretty tough. But it is a good point, Nick. I will point that out.
I wanted that mentioned. I didn't want that to be lost in all of the picks and everything.
Wow.
Well,
that
we
Dan's
have.
not sitting here.
We're not going to besmirch my best friend, Big Cat, okay? If the man could be here, he would be here. He's a father of two. He would be here.
That's it? Two?
Two?
Yeah.
I got 5.
I got 4.
I got 4 too.
All right, well, he's
All right,
back.
so I guess we're just
Yeah.
strong sperm boys. For us.
Oh, strong sperm boys. Gross. Deion, I will tell you, I don't mean to tattle on Brandon, but he loves Dan so much that he also wears Spanx just like Dan.
Oh. You know what? Dan did look good in the Spanx, though.
Look good. That's
He
a good
did
point.
look good. It was a slimming. It gave him a slimming feature.
Now, he also does copy everything that Dan does. Shoes, cars, clothes, sweatshirts.
The man is a rich, successful podcaster. I would like to be
really
a rich,
is.
successful podcaster. What's
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Hey,
you know what?
It's a
Ain't
copycat
nothing
league.
wrong with that.
That's what they say. NFL is copycat league.
And I've said if men want to wear Spanx, they should be allowed to wear Spanx.
Have at it. Why should they be left for the ladies?
Exactly. If girls can do it to look good, guys can do it too. So Deion, before we move on and pick games, I have a message for you from one Dana Beers. Do you remember Dana Beers?
Yes, I remember that good guy.
Yes, I believe you tried to get him on a diet multiple times. I think he's
Yes.
back on the diet.
No, Deion, he is fatter than ever. I have never
Oh,
seen him
no.
this fat.
Well, my Dana Beers is not your Dana Beers. My Dana Beers is really a good guy, but when he leaves me and gets away and disconnects, he's Dana Beers.
Well, you
I
need
just
to-
know Dana.
You need to
I
get
don't know
back
Dana
in his
Beers.
life. You need to take him to Colorado with you.
Well,
I'm not going to Colorado.
So I was told to ask you very nicely from him. So he has officially decided he is a Cincinnati football fan. He has picked his college football fandom, and he said that if you go to Cincinnati, you are the next head coach of that football team. He would like you to tell him before you tell anybody else so that he can be the one to break the news.
Gotcha. You know, it's never the guy that's going to get hired that breaks it. It's the people that's hiring him who breaks it. You do know that, right?
Dana does not know that. No, he asked me specifically to ask you. So I told him I would pass the message along.
Have you met Dana? He's an idiot.
Don't talk about my beers like that, because Mama Beers is probably watching.
Yeah, no, Dana's very sweet, but I had to pass that. So if you do decide to take the Cincinnati head coaching job, just please let Dana know because he's really relying on it. So we'll pick some games. Deion, I know Dan's not here for you to be able to rub it into his face, but you did have a 12-4 week last week. Dan,
Well, I'm good.
I mean, yeah, you're very good.
Pretty
Nick,
good.
the last time you were here, you went 8-6, also a very good week. And Brandon, clean slate for you. So
Well, clean slate for me, but I might be representing other people, perhaps.
I thought it was only your thoughts.
Okay, let's just say if it goes well this week, it will be represented by Big Cat Enterprises. It needs to go. If the record's good, then it needs to go to Big Cat. If it's bad, I will wear that. I'm willing to wear it.
That's a good man. That's a good friend.
He's a good friend.
It is his best friend.
Best friend?
They-
Guys, I've just been told what to do. I don't know what you want to tell you. I have Deion in one ear. I have Dan in my right ear. I don't know what you want to tell me.
Just be yourself, Brandon.
All right.
Nobody does it better than you.
I'll try it.
Let's get to the storyline games of the week presented by the Chevy Silverado. We are going to start with the New York Jets at the Vikings. Deion, a huge storyline last week was clearly Mike White just absolutely going out there and running the offense that the Jets wanted Zach Wilson to run all year. Zach Wilson in his press conference a couple weeks ago looked like a complete asshole, gets benched. The Jets go out and kill the Bears. Now, we know what the Vikings are capable of, and we've seen them continue to have success. They beat the Patriots on Thanksgiving. However, with the Jets, what did you see with Mike White that was so different without Zach Wilson?
Just being consistent, not turning the ball over, just throwing the darn ball where it's supposed to go, giving his receivers that can play this game really well an opportunity to be successful. Every time I think the Vikings are just an average football team, they win. To dispel every thought that I had. I've tried to think of everything because Mike Zimmer's my buddy, and I really didn't want them to win because Zim got fired. But the time I look around and I look up, they're winning. They're 9-2, so I got to admit, this team is pretty good. Every time I look at Kirk Cousins, I want to say, no, this guy, he's just an average quarterback. Then you look at the stats, 30 for 37, 299 yards, 3 touchdowns. The guy gets the job done. I'm going with the Vikings just because of the consistency. Now, the Jets defense will certainly be a challenge, but I'm going with the Vikings simply because it's a home game.
Nick, when you looked at what happened with the Jets, obviously you're very close to that franchise, one of the closest, some would say. Were you surprised they made the change from Zach Wilson last week?
I wasn't really surprised. You know, when you saw that press conference and you saw how tone deaf it was, you kind of knew, like, when you sit back and really think about it, like, that's not a great look. Like, you got to go, if you're a starting quarterback, you got to go with the cliche. You say something, we all got to get better, myself included. You know, we move on to the next game. You don't say, no. So to me, that was telling. And going to Mike White, it was exciting. You know, it was a great game. It was against your Bears. So, I mean, like, that was kind of an easy win.
Oh, I forgot.
Yeah.
Forgot I was Big Cat for a second.
Right.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
remember Big Cat's always there.
Always there. And so I don't know where they are. Their defense is fantastic. I think that offense, the wide receivers were getting open and we were getting the ball to them, so it made it work. But like Dan has to pick the Bears every week, I have to pick the Jets. Even though Kevin O'Connell is my guy, love him to death. I got to stick with the Jets.
What would you do with the Zach Wilson situation right now? As a locker room guy, I mean, it'd be hard for him to win the team back over at this point, right?
Well, can I ask a question right there? I was going to. You just asked a question. I want to ask a similar question to Deion and Nick.
Okay.
Is a bad performance in a game plus a bad press conference enough to derail a 23-year-old quarterback's career?
With this team, yes.
Yeah.
In New York, yes.
It is. It's not right, but it, like he says, in New York, yes. You got to understand, what we saw was just an enlightenment, an enlargement of what was already transpiring behind the curtains.
Mm-hmm.
You don't make that call and move it that quickly and that expeditiously unless you were already thinking that. And that's what already rumbles behind the curtains, like, hey, we got to get this kid out of here. He don't know what he's doing. But the defense is so good, you could allow him to make those mistakes. Now, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. I hope he gets another opportunity. And it's funny how this game works, and Nick knows this. He's going to get another opportunity. Mm-hmm. He's just got to be ready when it's time for him to get in there and play.
Look at Geno Smith.
Yeah, no.
I mean, he got ran out of New York, and now, apparently figured out how to play quarterback.
Yeah,
and he's doing
fantastic.
well in Seattle. So
Seahawks fans would rather have him than Russell Wilson this year, which is something we never thought we'd
they
say.
definitely get another chance. I don't think it'll be with the Jets.
Brandon, what do you think about this game?
Yeah, so, Deion kind of verbalized a lot of what I think, but I am going to go ahead and accept that I think they're an average team with an average quarterback, the Minnesota Vikings. This is very similar to me when the Cowboys walked in there a couple of weeks ago and destroyed them. Great defense in the Jets and a quarterback who's not going to make mistakes. Now, Dak Prescott's better than Mike White, but I think you've got a situation here where they're similarly built teams. Cowboys killed them. I think the Jets are going to beat them too.
All right. We're going to go to the Dolphins at the 49ers. Now, Deion, Brandon is a Miami Dolphins fan,
yes.
So I do want to put that out there. He also told me that he has some beef to pick with you.
Yeah,
I'm going to start with Brandon here on this game.
I have 23-year-old beef with one Deion Sanders.
Wow, I think I know where this is headed.
Deion Sanders in 1999 played in a game against Dan Marino, who's one of the all-time great quarterbacks and my favorite human being that ever lived. Dan Marino threw 3 picks that day, and the press came up to Deion after and said, hey, Deion, what do you think about Dan Marino's arm right now at this stage of his career? And Deion could have said, oh, he's an all-time great, a Hall of Famer, he's the best. But Deion said, well, I know that one interception he threw to me looked pretty good. Deion.
Yep.
Why?
That was it.
It's Dan Marino.
I didn't lie. Dan is my guy. The ball looked good. He threw a good ball.
He threw a good, but that's it. You won
Dan
that day.
is my guy.
I've carried that around for 23 years, Deion.
You know what I thought you were going to say? I thought you were going to say in '94 when I was on my little tour de France around the league trying to find a team that I was going to take my services to. I really wanted to go and play at Miami. So much that I had the shoe company make my shoes in their colors because that's where I thought I was going to play. And they got lit up for, they got lit up for, I think, 350 yards by the Patriots. What's the guy's name? The guy that Brady took his spot. They got lit up. Yeah, Bledsoe lit them up. And they were blowing my phone up. By that time, I had gave a verbal commitment, and I'm a man of my word, to Eddie DeBartolo. And the rest is history.
So you're telling me that in 1994, the Miami Dolphins could have had Deion Sanders at the very peak of his powers. That's what you're telling me?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I don't want to do the rest of the show.
You've hurt his feelings. He's down so bad now, Deion.
You could have been in Miami. You could have won. You could have changed everything. You and Dan Marino could have won Super Bowls together, but no, you had to go to San Francisco.
Think about where your life would be if that happened.
Me or Deion?
You.
My life would be a lot better.
Well, I mean, Deion won Super Bowls, so he's fine. Maybe your life would have turned out a little bit better.
That's all right. That's all right. We're going to win the Super Bowl this year.
Oh, okay. So speaking of this game, so the Dolphins have won 5 straight, the 49ers have won 4 straight, but I know they were playing the Texans last week, Brandon, but anytime in the NFL when you can take your starting quarterback out at halftime and you can continue, you win by double digits, that tells you how good this offense is. I assume you're going to keep rolling with them?
Well, first of all, the 49ers are a very good team, and they're at home, so that stinks. I am going to pick the Dolphins, but I wouldn't put a lot of money behind it. Tua Tagovailoa is one of the 3 MVP candidates in this league. It's Patrick Mahomes, it's Jalen Hurts, and it's Tua Tagovailoa. And we know it's actually Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle that have helped him. They went out and got him help, but he has become one of the best quarterbacks in the league. But it's hard to win 6 straight games in the NFL. When you go to San Francisco and play the 49ers, a team that's rolling too, these teams could play again down the road. That's all I'll say. That's how good I think both of these teams are. I'll pick the Dolphins because they're my team, but 49ers are probably the play.
Nick?
So I've yet to actually pick this. I didn't even write it down because I just don't know. These two teams are very evenly matched. They both play defense, the offense. I love Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't believe the 49ers believe in him, obviously, with everything that happened in the offseason, but he's still a good quarterback, and so he can still get the job done. However, I think Miami Dolphins, with the firepower that they have and the way Tua's playing, I think they can go to San Fran and get the win. I think it's going to be a hard-fought one, but I'm going Miami.
Deion, I know you're a huge fan of Tua, but you've also talked about how good the 49ers have been with everything they've added. And Jimmy Garoppolo last week had a career-high 28 passes in the first half, so they're clearly rolling, but you're a Tua guy.
I love Tua. I love what he brings to the table. I love those two receivers that puts the fear in any secondary's night or day. Let me tell you something. This is a tough game. Usually when it's tough like that, you go with the home team or you go with the best quarterback. Jimmy G is a good quarterback. He's not just a guy you could just brush over. Tua is playing lights out, but you got to figure he's due for one of those darn games. And if you're going to have one of those games, it's probably going to happen on the West Coast. It's probably going to happen on the West Coast against the San Francisco 49ers defense. I like San Fran in this game only because it's so tight. And the Dolphins are way away on the road, on the West Coast. And I like what Jimmy G did last week, and I think he has his confidence. So I'm going to go with San Fran at the crib.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask Deion one more question about the Dolphins game. Deion, when you were playing, obviously, if you were playing a team that had an elite receiver, you were going to man up on him, you were going to match up with him, you were going to shut him down. You love to go up against Jerry Rice and things like that. What would happen when you would play a team with two elite receivers like the Miami Dolphins?
Double-double. We call it double-double. You double-double. You would double both of those guys, and I would go to the third guy. That's what you would do. We did that against the Minnesota Vikings one year. You got to understand, they had Randy Moss, they had Chris Carter, Robert Smith in the backfield, and they had Jake Reed, who wasn't a pushover. So we doubled, and I went with Jake Reed.
Okay, so
and you try to stop it. Yeah, that's what you would try to do.
Was that when Randy Moss caught 3 touchdowns on Thanksgiving?
No, Thanksgiving, that's when I didn't play that game, and I just sat over there and watched history being made.
All right. See, that's good football insight, right? I really wanted to know. So that's what you would do if you were playing these Miami Dolphins. You would take the third receiver.
Yeah.
All right.
But also,
I mean, if that was the scheme, if that was the guy. But oftentimes, those guys, you definitely going to double Cheetah. You definitely going to deal with him. You may take your shots with the other guy, Waddle, but you definitely going to double Cheetah.
just whatever you remember from this show, just make sure you never forget that he was almost a Miami Dolphin.
No, I've got that.
Just never forget
True
that.
story.
That is embedded in my life now, and I will never.
He had his shoes made in your colors.
You still got those shoes?
No, I never. I seen one pair. That was it.
All right. Well, maybe I'll try to find those.
Bad day to be Brandon Walker. Let's go to the Chiefs at the Bengals. Nick, we know Patrick Mahomes right now is doing what Patrick Mahomes always does. I believe in most people's minds he is the favorite to win the MVP. There's a little bit of argument like we've had on the show many times, but he's Patrick Mahomes. Joe Burrow as well. He had, the first couple games of this season, it was kind of weird. It's like, what's going on with Cincinnati? They have a little bit of a Super Bowl hangover. They don't have that anymore. When you look at Patrick Mahomes versus Joe Burrow Sunday afternoon, what do you see?
I get excited. I think it's going to be a heck of a game. I mean, these two quarterbacks, young guys in the league, they're going to be slinging around. I'm hoping that Jamar Chase is back in there. They let him rest another week last week. So you get him back. You got the firepower. Being at home, I think this is a good opportunity for the Bengals to show up. And so being the Cincinnati guy that I am, I'm taking the Bengals.
Brandon.
Well, everything about me has said Bengals up until this exact moment, and then I realized the Bengals walked into Kansas City last year and won to go to the Super Bowl. And Patrick Mahomes is not one that probably takes that lightly. This seems like a spot where he's going to walk into Cincinnati, and you're going to think, oh, the Bengals have a great chance, and all of a sudden he's got 400 yards, 4 touchdowns, and you're wondering where this came from. I'm still going to pick Cincinnati because the AFC is a beast and a monster, and I don't see the Chiefs running away with it. I see them coming back to the pack. I'll pick the Bengals, but you put fear of God in me when I realized that Patrick Mahomes is going to have revenge on his mind just now.
Yep. Deion, what do you think?
Good point.
I'm going to go with the Chiefs. I love Mahomes, what he's doing and what the enemy and they're doing with that offense. And it is no answer for Travis Kayce. They put everybody and their mama on him to try to cover him. It is no answer in the NFL for Travis Kayce. And in knowing that, I'm going with the Chiefs. I'm going to ride them all the way to the end.
Speaking of Travis Kayce, it is time for hashtag I believe. Deion, last week we had a conversation about who the greatest tight ends of all time are. You said that Travis Kayce may go down as the best tight end ever. And
When it's all over.
When it's all over, yes, when it's all said and done. So Nick, I wanted to get your opinion on this as somebody who's played a lot of greats and has been a great himself. When you look at what Travis Kayce has done, where do you put him in that echelon of tight ends?
When it's all over, I think he has to be at the top as long as he stays healthy and keeps doing what he does, the production. I mean, you can't stop him. There's no defender that can stop him. Gronk was able to do it for a while, but then he was injured a decent amount. And, Kayce just doesn't get injured. He just keeps playing and keeps dominating.
Deion, what's your I believe for this week?
I'm going to go back to the Cowboys, man. I'm going to go back to my man Dak. I'm going to put a saddle on Dak and ride him to the end. A healthy Dak is a healthy Dallas Cowboys, and a healthy Dallas Cowboys is a team that can go to the championship, the NFC championship.
You don't think, can they win the Super Bowl?
I don't know about that. But I think they can get to the championship.
That defense is pretty dang good.
Yeah, when they're firing on all cylinders, it's hard. By the way, Deion, Brandon is a Mississippi State guy, so he loves Dak Prescott. Loves him. So you just
awesome.
So you just made his day a little bit more.
Yeah, he's
a little
my
bit
second
better.
favorite human being that ever lived.
Who was your first again? Oh, Dan
Marino.
Dan Marino. So Dak's your second.
Second.
Where's
yes.
Deion?
Like top 30.
Okay.
High up, the first time meeting him.
Yeah, I know you guys just met today, so that's not so bad.
I'm a child. Listen, I'm a child of the '80s. All right, I was 10 years old when Deion went in the draft. I lived through his whole career. This is a huge day.
Well, how can I be 30? How can I be in the top 30?
What are you trying to be? You trying to be lower or higher?
I should be at least top 8. At least top 8.
I mean, I have a wife. I have four kids. It's pretty tight in the top 8.
Oh, I thought you were talking about athletes. I didn't want to talk about people.
No, my wife's like top 20.
Everything's going okay at home?
Yeah, everything's fine.
All right, what's your hashtag?
Get out of my house, Kayce.
What's your hashtag I believe for this week, Brandon?
I believe the New Orleans Saints have become the worst team to watch in the National Football League. It is disgusting to watch that team try to play offense. With Andy Dalton and the way they try to play offense, they've got Jameis Winston, who's very exciting on the bench. At least put him in there. I'll get something exciting. They were gross to watch last week, and now we have to watch them on Monday Night Football this week. That's disgusting. It's an affront to the customers. And for 15, 20 years with Breeze and Kamara and Reggie Bush early on and Michael Thomas and Joe Horn, all these great offensive players that have come through there, and Sean Payton, now we have to watch this. It's disgusting.
I will tell you that usually when Dan is sitting right there, he has the same sentiment, but I know that came from your heart. So you guys are just...
He has the same... See, I didn't even know that.
He cannot stand that Andy Dalton is...
No, that was straight from my stomach.
Yeah, he cannot stand that Andy Dalton is still starting.
It's ridiculous.
Even he had
nice guy.
Yeah, he had a good game a couple weeks ago, but it is a very bizarre situation with what's going on with Jameis. Nick, what's your I believe
Mixed
this week?
bad football. So my last time I was here, were the Buccaneers make a break on the Panthers game. I think that broke them, so I'm sticking with that. But the one I have here, it has nothing to do with Brandon being here. This was already thought of a mind thing before Dan decided to wuss out and played the cold card. I'm going with Tua as the MVP.
Okay.
I think
I liked it.
The Dolphins have not lost a game where he's played the whole game. He's dominating. He showed that he is the most valuable player on that field. Yes, he has the weapons,
right,
and they make that team happen. But someone's got to give him the ball, and he's getting him the ball. And he's doing a great job of doing it.
And since he's been back from the whole concussion situation, he's had, 11 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. He's been unbelievable. Wow. It's hard for me to say, because I think Jalen Hurts is up there as well. Mm-hmm. Just Patrick Mahomes has been so good that it's almost like we're taking it for granted sometimes. But that's not to say that he has to win the MVP. It's just like he's doing crazy things.
Right, but I think when you're saying MVP, it's most valuable. It's not the best player out. I think Tua is the most valuable player to that Dolphins team, where Patrick Mahomes, you could say Kelsey might be the most valuable player to the Kansas City Chiefs.
You got that right.
Yep.
So
I hope the rest of the league watches what Miami has done for Tua. They drafted a young quarterback and they went out and got him weapons. They didn't just throw him out there with a bad roster like some teams are doing to their young quarterbacks. They went and got him pieces and said, "Here, young fella, see what you got." And all of a sudden, he's doing what he's doing. That's great. I think the rest of the league needs to copy that model.
And as cliche as it is, they're fun to watch because of it.
Very fun.
I mean, that offense is awesome.
Much better than the Saints.
It's time for the Sunday conversation, so let's send it over to Caleb Glennie Balls and rapper and social media star Bad Baby.
Bad Baby.
That's me.
Where are you from? From Boynton Beach, Florida.
Is it true what they say about Florida?
What do they say?
Peninsula?
What?
Peninsula, is it true?
What about it?
Is it?
What do you even mean? I stopped in 7th grade. I don't know. Yeah.
You ever think about going back to 7th
No.
grade? No? How come? Too old?
No, it's just like, why? Like, for what?
Okay, it is time to welcome in Jersey Jerry for the Game Time Game of the Week. Score. Oh, clapping here.
That's good. I love it. I love it.
Yay,
I love it.
Jerry, make
love
sure you
it.
score last-minute tickets to this week's Game Time Game of the Week. Any sport, concert, show with the Game Time app. Download the app, create an account, redeem code football for $20 off your first order. Terms do apply. I'll make sure Deion turns around so he can see his guy Jerry.
What's up, Deion?
Steelers colors. They must have won.
Yeah, they won. They won this week.
Yeah,
Hey, Kenny looked great, Deion, no? I mean, I can't get a response.
I didn't watch it. I'm sorry, I didn't watch.
No, but I think he had his best game of his career so far.
Okay.
Are we still on the fire Mike Tomlin train?
Well, I mean, one win isn't going to change my mind. I think, there's problems. There's a lot of problems in Pittsburgh. Maybe
You
not on the
spoke too prematurely.
No, I didn't.
Jerry, that wasn't good. Jerry.
I
That wasn't a good tape.
I looked back on the tape, and somebody said something on a podcast. I won't say what podcast this was, but he did say what you said. Throughout Mike Tomlin's career in Pittsburgh, he's never completely lost the locker room, and
Right.
I can get behind that.
You can get behind it.
I can get behind that.
So you're not ready to fire him as much as you were last week.
Not as much as I was last week. No.
Okay, and how happy are you that Dan is not here to ruin your segment this week?
Oh, it's the best. It's the best.
Wait, am I supposed to be ruining his segment right now?
No.
No.
Not if you
No,
weren't told
no.
to.
Okay, all right. I wasn't told to.
No. It's
Jerry,
okay.
I'll just be over here if I need to ruin you. Let me know.
Yeah, I will.
So this week you have the Jags at the Lions as your game time game
Yes,
of the
listen,
week.
I really like this game a lot. Lions at home. If you look at the numbers between Jared Goff and Trevor Lawrence this year, they're the exact same numbers. I mean, passing yards are they're within 50 yards of each other. Same amount of touchdowns, pretty much same amount of interceptions. Quarterback ratings the same. I think the Lions, man, they found something. This team is a team that I think could beat anybody any given Sunday. I think the head coach is having a pretty good year. I do. I think they like him. I think the locker room loves him. I'm going to take the Lions at home. I really think they'll just win this game outright. They're an underdog, but I think they'll just win the game outright.
And before we let you go, how are we feeling about the Steelers moving forward now?
Steelers have a really easy schedule back half of the year.
Okay.
And this kind of, doesn't bother me, but I was really hoping for a 5th or a 6th pick in the draft. It seems like the Steelers are going to head towards the 12 to 14 range and miss out on probably a generational talent in Will Anderson.
It's very sad.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Kenny Pickett's playing well.
That's the other side to it. Kenny looks good, and he's going to have an easy schedule the rest of the year, build his confidence a little bit, maybe make a run at it next year.
Have you been texting with him?
Jerry.
Yeah.
Jerry.
Yeah.
Your next game for the Steelers is at the Falcons. That's not easy. Then you play the Ravens.
well,
That's not easy. Then you play the Panthers. Then you play the Raiders. Okay. Then you play at the Ravens.
Dang, I thought Dan was gone.
I know.
I mean, the Falcons have the 29th ranked
The
offense
Falcons have a better record than the Steelers. The Falcons.
and the 31st ranked defense.
Okay, the Steelers haven't won. Have they won 2 games in a row all year? They just won.
No.
They're going to go to Atlanta and win.
No.
I think they're going to win in Atlanta, yeah.
All right.
I do.
The Ravens twice?
That's easy schedule. You have the Ravens twice. You're at the Falcons.
We'll split with the Ravens because we always split with
You got the Browns.
You're not going to split with the Ravens.
We always split with the Ravens. Always.
I just think your point being that it was an easy schedule. I'm not sure it was.
Yeah.
Right.
Falcons, Panthers.
Jerry, I believe in you, Jerry. I don't know what he's talking about. I believe in you, Jerry.
Hot take. I'm going to do a JJ, I believe, and then I'm going to end my segment.
Okay, go for it.
Steelers, listen,
Oh, I got you.
8 wins. 8 wins.
Jerry,
So JJ
Jerry,
hot take.
Jerry, you shouldn't have did that.
No, you
not
took
with
up for him,
you.
Deion. You took up for him, Deion.
Jerry, I'm not with the 8 wins, Jerry. I'm not with the 8 wins.
Oh, I am.
It's
That's a lot, Jerry.
It is amazing that Jerry went from firing Mike Tomlin last week to his I believe being they're going to win 8 games. But that's Deion. That's a sign of a true fan. He rides or dies with his team.
Oh, Jerry.
Jerry, you know who else has an easy schedule?
Who?
Or thinks they have an easy schedule?
Who?
Everybody who gets to play the Steelers the last 6 weeks of the season.
That's true.
That was harsh.
That's
that was
true.
harsh.
I'm sorry, you're right.
That's
Yeah,
true.
that was harsh. That was harsh.
He's lashing out, but when we look at this game, Brandon, the game time game of the week between the Jags and the Lions, what do you expect to happen?
I love the Jags. The Jags had a moment last week. Trevor Lawrence got the ball down 7. They went down the field in a minute and a half. They beat the Ravens. They went for 2. Doug Peterson believed in his team, believed in his quarterback. They went for 2. They won the game. Trevor Lawrence is finding it all of a sudden. I think the Jags are somebody to watch the last half of the season. I think they go in and they beat the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, there was like 2 minutes and 2 seconds left on the clock, and it was like the Jags have to go 75 yards. And no disrespect to Trevor Lawrence, but that's not somebody that has a lot of confidence right now that you thought that could happen. By the end of that game, Nick, that had completely changed. I mean, if you're a guy in the locker room, you've got to look and be like, all right, our guy can do this.
Our guy can do this. Although, aren't you a fanboy for Trevor Lawrence?
I am a fanboy for Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, so I think you're a little clouded on that one.
No, he got the ball.
I know
with 2
what
minutes
he
left
did.
and beat the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, I know what he did.
That's good.
That's good. Flash in the pan.
Wow.
Yeah,
Really?
So I'm going.
So you hate Trevor Lawrence? You have the same haircut.
No, we don't. I'm textured. His is straight.
All right, my bad.
Yeah.
You have more wave to it than he does.
thank you.
Yes, yes.
What the hell?
Trevor Lawrence has waves in his hair.
No, he doesn't. It's a straight
He has
flow.
luscious locks, okay?
It's a straight
He does
flow.
not have luscious
He has
locks.
luscious locks. He has
I mean,
beautiful hair.
he has nice hair. That doesn't mean he has luscious locks.
I said they have the same haircut. Look at his hair.
No.
You don't
Anyway,
believe in your hair. That's why you're wearing a hat.
I believe in my hair.
don't
I just like wearing a hat.
You don't believe in your hair. Trevor Lawrence believes in his hair.
Yeah, is that why he wears? That's why he wears a headband.
Well, to keep it out of his eyes when he's playing.
That's why I wear a hat.
You're not playing.
He is
I am.
playing right
I'm playing
now.
right now.
All right, fine.
Battling you.
You're not doing very well.
I'm dominating. So that's why I'm going with the Detroit Lions because they will dominate the Jacksonville Jaguars.
All right, Deion, what do you think about this game?
It's hard for me to pick Jacksonville in anything. It really is. I love what Trevor Lawrence did last week. I think it's a better team. But Detroit is playing better also in some guy, I don't know what school he came from, but he had 2 sacks in his NFL debut last week. I think his name is James, what is it? Houston. James Houston, yes, James Houston, a defensive end. I think he came from Jackson State.
Oh, look at that.
Love that. Brandon knew that. He was just waiting for you to say it, right?
No, he was leading up to his own thing. Let him put his own thing
No,
on.
I know.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to point out to Deion that you knew the whole time you were just waiting for him to say it. That's how much
yeah,
you
he
love
knows.
Jackson State.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a Jackson guy. He's a Mississippi guy.
Yeah. Ride or die. Let's get to the rapid fire games of the week presented by Cross Country Mortgage. Players watch game film to prepare. Finding your dream home is no different, and Cross Country Mortgage is the partner that's prepped to put you in position to win. Reach out to us today at ccm.com/Barstool. That's ccm.com/Barstool, ccm.com/Barstool. Equal housing opportunity in MLS 3029. All loans subject to underwriting approval. NMLSconsumeraccess.org. Deion, I will start with you. We talked a little bit about this game when Jerry was up earlier. I have to do it. So the Steelers at the Falcons. When Jerry was up here, we were talking about the Steelers not being very good, but I know how you feel about picking the Falcons because it breaks your heart. So what are you going to do?
See, if I pick the Falcons, they're going to lose at the last minute. So I'm going to pick the Steelers because I want the Falcons to win. So I'm picking the Steelers.
That's tricking your brain. That's a good thing to do. All right, Nick?
And since he tricked his brain, I'm going to take the Falcons so I get the win.
Okay. Brandon?
So you're double trick. You're countering his trick with your own trick?
No, I'm jumping on his trick because he has tricked himself into taking Pittsburgh so that the Falcons win. So I'm taking the Falcons because he already tricked it.
I don't know what's happening right now. I'm picking the Atlanta Falcons.
Smart choice.
So yeah, because he tricked it. So now
No,
we
I'm just
triple
getting on with
tricked it.
Nick.
Yes.
I'm not going with the trick. I'm going with Nick.
But Nick is on the trick.
I'm with the trick.
That's a good one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey,
So
Rick.
we're
That
all
was slick.
The trick
Yeah.
made Nick go anti-trick, so I'm going Nick, which is not the trick.
No, I'm
That was
with
slick.
the trick.
Okay.
That was slick not to go with the trick like Nick.
Correct.
And you tried not to go with the trick, but that was really slick.
And I'm just a dumb hick.
just keep rhyming for the rest of the segment.
Please, let's not talk about
And Kayce is a hot chick.
Oh, hell yeah, I'll take that. Thank you, Deion. All right,
you go.
Nick, the Broncos at the Ravens. On this show, we love to argue about Lamar Jackson. The Ravens did lose to the Jags last week. The Broncos are terrible, though. We know that. They've lost the locker room. Russell Wilson's calling audibles from Seattle. But
Wow.
the Ravens did lose.
Ravens did lose. I think it's a fluke game for the Ravens. They overlooked Jacksonville just like everybody else does. So I don't put too much emphasis on that. I do put a lot of emphasis on the quarterback not having a locker room. That is bad.
Wow.
You know, I saw the article come out that said that the coach is still there, even though I don't think that coach is doing very well. But that they haven't lost faith in the coach, they lost faith in the quarterback. And when you
That's
lose faith in
bad.
the quarterback,
It's over. It's
Yeah.
over.
Ravens.
Deion,
It's
you've been saying it all year that it's over for Russ.
Yeah. Well, this solidified it, and I want Nick to weigh in on this. When a defensive player runs off the field and he's checking and yelling at your $40 million quarterback, that's not good. That's a wrap.
Yes.
That does not happen. I mean, if we have a relationship and a friendship and you coming off, all right, go kick their butts. He wasn't saying that. He was not saying that. He was challenging the quarterback to do something. That's not good. That means he's lost him.
Yep, and when you're divided offense defense, I mean, it never works out. Like it's
Never works out.
It's bad. I would love to hear from an offensive lineman from one of them,
Yeah.
just because I know they
I would
can't,
love
they
that
can't be
too.
happy about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's
No.
just an absolute mess.
Yeah.
And even if Russell's not actually calling audibles from Seattle, the fact that that's even a storyline that's being put out there by somebody on the offensive side, it's probably not good either.
Probably not, because
Probably
where there's
not.
smoke, there's fire.
Exactly. Deion, are you riding with the Ravens as well, I assume?
Oh, yeah, I'm going with the Ravens for sure. You know I love Lamar.
I know it. You would never,
Yes.
never,
I would
Brandon.
never go against Lamar.
So
You're going against Lamar?
No, this would be stupid right now. Broncos are in disarray, and the Ravens played with fire. They like had a couple games against bad teams where they pulled it out at the end and were able to win. Last week they finally got caught. They finally got caught sleepwalking, and the Jags got them. That snaps them right back into reality. They're going to win this game and get ready for the playoff push.
Okay, it is time for the Packers at the Bears. Now, our friend Dan, who's usually sitting in the seat,
Bears.
just know.
Yep.
Bears.
He learned. He learned.
He's learning.
He learned
Justin
quick.
Fields is the guy.
Okay.
Yep.
This is one of
Yep.
the most exciting young offenses in the league, and Aaron
Wow.
Rodgers should be in jail. Bears.
Wow.
That definitely was not coached at all. Not
No.
at all.
That was from heart.
This is anything. I just watch pro football and I react to it. I don't know what you're talking about.
But do you think the Packers looked maybe a little bit better when Aaron Rodgers got hurt and Jordan Love came in?
Aaron Rodgers should be in jail, and Jordan Love, for even sharing a locker room, should probably be in jail.
Okay, yes, definitely coming straight from the Brandon Walker school of thought there.
School of thought
Nick?
there. You know, I heard that Aaron said that he's going to go, and so I think he's still going to get hurt. I don't know if Trevor is playing, or Justin Fields, sorry, if Justin Fields playing. But I got to take the Bears. I think the Packers are they're not good. I think we've just decided that they're not good. And
That's an astute observation.
thank you. And I think Justin Fields being the man in Chicago.
The guy.
Not man yet?
The guy.
We're still guy?
That's what I've been told to say.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the guy.
It's the guy. All right. Him being the guy, you know, that rushing attack that they have with him, they figured out how to use him as a play caller. And so I think it's the Bears.
Deion?
Okay, we could agree that the Green Bay Packers aren't the Green Bay Packers of old, but the Bears are the Bears of old. So the Green Bay Packers, even being how bad they are this year, are still better than the Bears. I'm going with the Packers.
Unbelievable.
Can I get a caveat, though?
Yes.
If Justin Fields doesn't play, I want the Packers.
Nope.
No, you got to take a
You
side,
gotta stick
Nick.
with it.
But
We are recording way early in the week, so
It's Wednesday. That's plenty of time.
first injury report hasn't even come out yet.
Who cares? He'll be fine.
Practice is happening in 1 hour.
You don't know when the Bears are practicing.
I have a pretty good idea, more than you do.
no. What level of football did you play that you?
That
were
was
so
seventh
good at?
grade, right?
Seventh grade, I played
Seventh
tight
grade.
end. I wore number 88, and my friend also wore number 88 because they had too many 88s, and they didn't think I was going to be a very good football player, and they were right.
In seventh grade, you probably practiced like 5 p.m.
No, because they had to get off the field for the varsity, so we actually had to leave school early from Fifth Street Junior High School and go, and we practiced at 3:30 and 3:30 to 4:30, and then after
You guys
practice,
got a lot in.
I had to stay for the varsity so I could get their water bottles.
There you go. All right.
Definitely doesn't hold on to that though. All these years
All
later.
these years
Best
later.
high school program in the state of Mississippi, the West Point Green Wave.
That I have heard that before. Congratulations. Let's talk about the Browns at the Texans. Deshaun Watson
Oh, my
is
God.
back, and obviously the Texans being the worst team in the NFL.
How?
But when you look at
How?
you know how this game's probably gonna pan out. But when you look at what the
Yeah.
Browns have coming back, what do you expect?
First of all, how did the NFL time it perfectly where his suspension was up when he plays against the Texans in Houston? How did that work out? I don't understand.
Crazy how that works.
You know this is the greatest reality show of all time, the NFL.
Exactly.
Who's ever
right.
gotten an 11-game suspension?
Unbelievable. So it works out great. I just want to see how creative the fans get on their gestures and the boos and the idiotic gestures that they're going to throw out. I mean, because what are you going to bring in, a massage table? And I can't wait to see the stuff. It's going to be hilarious. I'm going to pick the Browns because the Texans are trying to get the number 1 pick in the draft, and they're doing a pretty good job at doing it. So I'm going to pick the Browns, and he's going to have a great game.
Nick?
Mediocre. I said mediocre game, probably about 250, 275 yards passing, maybe 50 yards rushing, but they're gonna win.
Yeah, it definitely does help that they're playing the Texans, so those numbers will be quite padded.
Definitely helps. Texans are trash. As long as Deshaun doesn't try to do too much on his first game back. If he tries to be like, hey, listen, I'm all world, remember me? They're going to be fine because they'll run the ball. It's an easy pick.
Brandon?
I got to ask you guys a question because all jokes aside, you guys obviously played at the highest level for a very long time. This guy has never played for the Cleveland Browns. He's never gone out there to war with these guys. Jacoby Brissett just played 11 games with them. So now he walks in. Is it an immediate embrace from every teammate of this guy, this is our guy? Or is it something he's going to have to earn? I really want to know that.
Deion?
Well, he's going to earn it, but I'm pretty sure he's earned it at practice. He's earned it in preseason and before he had to be dismissed from the facility. And they want that. They want to get their money's worth out of him. Guys are like, okay, let's earn it. You got to earn your money. That's pretty much earn your money. Let me see you earn your money. And they want to move on with this era. Brissett was just a fill-in. Everyone knows that. Now it's time for the real thing. So you could gauge where you are. You could gauge what you need. So you can move on to not only next season to where you're going to be in the draft. The kid can play. We can say what we want. The kid can flat out play this game.
Yeah, I think as long as you put the work in the preseason, and you've stayed in touch, even though you can't be at the facility, which I mean, who's really checking? But as long as you stay in touch, it'll be fine.
And they're playing the Texans, who, like he said, is trying to get the first pick of the draft. This is a perfect scenario for him.
Yeah.
Even though he's going to play against a hostile crowd, whatever, you're going to play against a hostile crowd a lot if you're playing in the AFC North. So, the pick here is definitely the Browns.
Yeah, and I think everywhere he goes is going to be a hostile crowd for a long time. The jokes just write themselves. So, it's not going to be something just that happens this week. Nick, let's talk about the Commanders at the Giants. The Commanders beat the Falcons last week, and the Giants lose to the Cowboys on Thanksgiving, and it feels like the Giants are kind of regressing back to the New York Giants. And as a former Jets guy, you probably like to see that a little bit.
I love it. I never wish injuries on anybody, and the Giants are going through injuries right now, and I think that's hurting them. Sharing a city is very difficult. I don't like it, and so therefore I'm going with the Commanders.
There you go. Brandon?
So your life would have been better if the Giants just left, just went somewhere else.
They could just leave.
Just go anywhere. Poof, be gone.
You know, I had 2 Super Bowls where I had to watch Giants, Patriots.
I'm sorry that happened to you.
You know how terrible that is when you're rooting for a tie in the Super Bowl?
So,
go there.
I like the Commanders. The Giants their story's kind of over. I just don't think they were always playing above their head, and the Commanders are getting better every time this quarterback goes out there. I like the Commanders to win this game.
Yeah, Deion, they love Taylor Heineke. He is their guy now. So when you look at the Commanders at the Giants, are you riding with these guys?
I like the Commanders, but I like the Giants at home. I think these are 2 balanced teams. You can't really say who's better than the other. So I'm going to always take the home team. When it ever is equal like that, always take the home team. I'm going to go with the Giants.
Brandon, the Titans at the Philadelphia Eagles. Jalen Hurts last week absolutely balled his ass off. When you look at the Titans too, though, they are quietly continuing to win as well. But the Eagles are just a monster.
Yeah, that's why the Titans are going to win this game. The Eagles are good. Everything's going great. They're scoring a lot of points. And here comes this team that wants to punch you right in the mouth. See, did you see me catch that cuss word right there?
You saved
swear.
it.
Yeah, but Deion's here and he doesn't swear, so I have respect for him, so I'm not going to do it.
Thank you. You're a good man.
But the Tennessee Titans will punch you in the mouth, want to play physical football, and to me, for an Eagles team that's rolling, this is exactly who you do not want to see on the first weekend of December. I like the Titans to win this football game.
And Deion, we talk a lot about Derrick Henry. One of the things that the Bengals were able to do when they beat the Titans was kind of limit Derrick Henry. Do you see the Eagles being able to do the same thing?
Yeah, but shoot, the Titans got to stop. You got to stop the Eagles. That's kind of tough. They can run the football. They can throw the football. The quarterback is very versatile. That's a tough ask I'm going with the Eagles.
Nick?
Yeah, I mean, I love what Mike Vrabel's doing in Tennessee. I think he's a fantastic head coach, but I think the Eagles will keep rolling on this one.
Deion, the Seahawks at the Rams. We know the Rams have been struggling, and they have a million injuries, and you love Geno Smith. So who are you taking for this game?
Geno Smith is the comeback player of the decade, not the year, the decade. Okay, let's just get that straight. He got to win something. They got to give him something. I'm going with the Seahawks, and he has the highest completion percentage or highest quarterback percentage, something in the NFL I just read the other day. I'm going with the Seahawks. I don't know what's going on with the Rams. I really don't.
Nick?
Rams are checked out. They have January 9th on their calendar. Exit meetings are already lined up, so they're ready for vacation. So Seattle Seahawks are the pick.
Brandon?
Yeah, this one's easy. The Rams are just going through the motions. The Seahawks are playing for that division, playing for a quarterback, playing for everything. It's Seahawks.
Chargers at Raiders. Nick, the Raiders got the exciting overtime win last week, and we saw Derek Carr quite literally crying in his press conference a few weeks ago. We know that all the stuff with Josh McDaniels has been tough, but they've gotten a few wins now. Doesn't necessarily mean they're alive, but Justin Herbert and the Chargers are also kind of reviving themselves this season. When you look at these two teams, what do you expect?
I expect actually a really good game. I think these two teams will fight each other hard, but I got to go with the Chargers on this one.
Brandon?
I think the Raiders are making up for lost time. I think the Raiders really started this season worse than they really are. They're a good football team. They're 4-7 right now. The Chargers are only 6-5. It's going to be a great game. These two teams fighting for their life in the AFC playoff battle, and the Raiders are on life support, but they can still get in. I like the Raiders to win the football game.
Deion?
The Raiders are one play away from being 3-8. Okay, let's just get that straight. So they're not good
Yeah, but
whatsoever.
they're like 2 plays away from being like 7-4. They've lost close games too.
Yep. Okay, you're right. Okay, it is what it is. They're not good. They're not good. Can we agree on they're not good?
They're not
They have not been good.
Yes.
They're not good, and I don't know why. Because they had the quarterback, they got the offense, they should be able to score. I like the Chargers. I like a lot about the Chargers. I really thought the Chargers was going to be much better than they're presenting right now as well, but they're 6-5 and they still got a shot.
Brandon, Sunday night football, the Colts at the Cowboys. Your guy, Dak Prescott, your second favorite human being behind Dan Marino.
Sure.
What do you think is going to happen on Sunday night?
Well, God bless Jeff Saturday and the Colts, but they're walking into a lion's den right now because the Cowboys are starting to roll. The Cowboys beat you up. The Cowboys get after your quarterback, and the Colts ain't even got one. I just don't see a world where the Cowboys don't treat the Colts like redheaded stepchildren. They're going to beat them. I mean, this is going to be awful.
And Nick, when you look at the stuff with Jeff Saturday and how crazy it's been, and last week there was some weird clock management situations, not taking the time out. The experiment with him has been fun from a social media standpoint, but from a football standpoint, where do you see it panning out?
I love it because I'm now qualified to be a head coach in the NFL.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So if any owner wants to hire me, have at it. But this one, I love Jeff Saturday, and I think it's a neat thing. And anyone saying I would never take that job. Like Joe Thomas, I think, came out and was like, I would never take that job. Of course you would. You take that opportunity any chance you get. You're one of the 32 NFL head coaches. Get out of here. But yeah, the Cowboys are going to smoke them.
Deion?
The Cowboys by a lot.
Yeah. It's pretty obvious, I think, to most people. Let's go to Monday Night Football. The Saints at the Tampa Bay Bucks. Deion, the Bucks losing a game to the Browns last week seemed very weird. Tom Brady obviously not happy about it. But the Saints, it looks like they're going to continue to roll with Andy Dalton. Jameis Winston came out and said, hey, you're not supposed to lose your job when you get injured. I'm healthy, but I've lost my job. Seems like complete disarray. When you look at this Monday night game, you expect Tom Brady to roll?
Yeah, they must, but the division is so bad that I really believe 7-10 may win the division. I really believe it, and that's a darn shame. I like the Bucks. The Saints are horrible. They really are. They're not good at all. I like Tom Brady just getting these guys in the playoffs. So when you get to the playoffs, anything can happen.
Nick?
This game's going to stink, and the fact that we have to watch it on a Monday night, I don't want to watch it. But if the Saints were to go with Jameis, at least it would be something exciting. But sticking with Andy Dalton, who, you said, is a good guy and just not a good quarterback. I got to go with the Buccaneers.
Yeah, Brandon, you mentioned this earlier in the show that it's just sad that the NFL is subjecting us to this on Monday night.
Well, it's a shame that they only flex games out a Sunday night spot, that they can't flex out a Monday night, because I know that would change too many schedules. But this is going to be gross. It's going to, if you want to have a family movie night, do it this Monday. Watch whatever you want. It's
Yes,
Christmas
I do.
season. Watch National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Watch Elf. Watch whatever you want. This Monday night. Do not watch this game. It'll be ugly. The Bucs are going to win, but they're going to win like 13-10. It's going to be gross.
Christmas Vacation is the best Christmas movie of all time.
It's one of my favorites. Yeah.
It's the best.
No, it's the best.
It's the best. Yeah.
Okay. Well, then say the best, not one of the good
Well,
ones.
hallelujah. Holy shit, man. Just relax.
Yeah, where's the tunnel? Best Christmas movie.
The daggers that he's sent to you, like with his eyeballs throughout the show, have been a little bit alarming, Nick.
Yeah.
I think he's scared of me.
Well, it's pretty fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty fair. I think that's fair.
No,
Which is fine.
100%. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
There we go.
I'd be scared of Deion if he were sitting right here, but he's not.
Are you scared of me?
You're pregnant, so yes.
A good answer.
Hey,
good
keep her
answer.
business out the street. Keep her business out the street.
Let's go to the primetime pick of the week presented by the Chevy Silverado. It is a new month, so anybody is on the table here. Deion, you've just won everything. You won September. You won November. Dave and the guys who have picked for Dave have been bad. Dan's been bad. So let's see if you can win December as well. Who are you taking in your primetime pick of the week?
I'm going to take the Cowboys. It's a sure thing.
Nick?
Ravens. Done.
Brandon?
All right, well, my name is Brandon Walker, and I work for Barstool Sports. And if I were left to my own devices, I would tell you that if you can see this, Nick Mangold, I wrote down Cowboys and Ravens. Those were the two choices, but I was overruled at the last minute, so my pick is the Bears.
I thought you were going to say you weren't taking those because they took them.
My pick is the Bears.
You're going to let Dan just bully you out of that?
I am representing Big Cat Enterprises. The pick is the Bears over the Packers, all right? Aaron Rodgers should be in jail. Bears, that's the pick.
He's sabotaging himself.
Yeah, Dan is sabotaging himself. Well, it's
Yeah.
because he knows he's probably not going to win. Deion's going to win again.
Well, obviously. But
Yeah.
still, I mean, he
Always.
could at least
No,
try.
I believe he actually believes the Bears are going to win.
He can't believe that.
Have you met the man?
Yeah, I know. Well, he says it every week, so I think at this point it's just hot air.
I'm just saying Bears over Packers. That's my choice.
Okay, so Brandon Walker
Has
is
put his
taking the
name
Bears.
on the Bears.
Brandon Walker, yes.
Okay.
Representing BCE.
All right, fantastic show, guys. Deion, what'd you think about Mr. Brandon Walker over here sitting in for Dan?
He's awesome. Energy, poise, intelligence. He's everything. And Nick is my man. Matter of fact, I'm going to start sending Nick film so he could just check out some of the linemen that I'm looking at so he could just let me know yeah or nay.
You let me know. I got nothing else going on.
Gotcha.
There you go. That was week 13 of the NFL. We will be back next week. Maybe Brandon will be here. Maybe Dan will be back.
Who knows?
We'll see if his cold gets cured.
Yep.
If not, you guys have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.
God bless you.
Thank you, guys.